following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Good evening, Litchfield. I guess that a lot of you in town have been hearing some fuss regarding the lady in town that does all the sewing. That would be me, I guess. I did all the costuming for the parade over Memorial Day, and I wanted to share some of the sewing machine magic with people. I posted a notice out on the Facebook page yesterday or the day before asking for names to use that we could call the show, and there have been some pretty cool responses. One is The More You Sew from Bonnie Spalding. Good job, Bonnie. Another one was So Special by Amy Zellers. That was pretty cool because everything I sew is pretty special. And the third contender is called In Stitches by Debbie Halverson. I like that one too. So the way the show hopefully will go is that I will have you as viewers offer me projects that I can do on the sewing machine while we're on the air, and you get to leave with a finished product, and that would just keep the show interesting and keep all of you involved, and I'm thrilled to be here. So let's talk about a sewing machine. This is your trusty Kenmore. The Kenmore sewing machine is probably the most basic sewing machine there is. It's what I've been running since I was 16 years old. I'm 65, so I guess it works well for me. And when you use a sewing machine, depending on the fabric and the project that you're doing, for instance, today I brought a pair of jeans that we were going to put a patch on the knee, and in that event, you want to match your thread type to the bulk and the thickness of the denim fabric, and you want to change your needle to accommodate whatever kind of fabric you have going on for your project. And they run regular needles that are called standard tip, go from size 7 to 11 to 14 to 16. The 16 being the biggest needle for the heaviest part of working on denim through the seams, to do a nice hem. When you hem jeans, you want the hem to end up looking just like it did when you bought it. So that would be what you do with that. The machine itself, pretty much all machines have a dial here that tells you what size your stitches are, and you can go from tiny little close together stitches up to real big basting stitches. And these are a small variety on my machine anyway of various kinds of stitches and the ability to do buttonholes. I would like to know from all of you viewers what kind of projects you have in mind for me, and bear in mind that I would need a little bit of time to look at it and make sure that I have all the right stock to be able to accomplish your task. And what I want to do is set myself up. I don't want to set myself up for failure. So with that said, get in touch with either the show or with myself through my email address, and let's don't make a fuss about that. It is joanisingleagain@gmail.com. And gentlemen, thank you, I'm all set. The reason I'm doing this all is to help people that think they cannot sew, I can't do it, and maybe you can't, but maybe you can. And I want to spend some time on the show just doing basic mending, which is why I want you all to bring things in. I want you to feel comfortable and not intimidated by a machine. It's not a Rolls Royce. You can't kill it. It won't cost a fortune. And it's something you can pass on to your children, to your grandchildren. It would be fun to make doll clothes for the American Girl dolls that the kids are into. So, with that said, let's get right back in one moment. Hi, welcome back, everybody. What I'm going to do at this point, since working with a pair of jeans didn't pan out that well, I didn't bring the right pair of jeans with a hole in the knee. So instead, what we're going to do is work on this. I have a great feeling for ladies that are built like me, that are not quite proportioned like regular girls. So every time I buy a dress, it doesn't fit. And every time it doesn't fit, I bring it home and I take it all apart and I rebuild it. So this is one of those dress rebuilds. So let me thread the machine and I will show you what I'm doing. I'm also a big fan of dresses for ladies that either you wear a slip underneath or you wear a lining in your dress, because thing that comes to mind for me is always the Princess Diana before she married Charles, holding the child in the daycare center, and you could see right through her skirt. Oops, we don't really want that. That's considered a fashion faux pas. So what is happening is that this today is being turned into, I took the dress all apart, and this is the bottom of it. It's the whole skirt for a dress, and then I took apart the top that was the whole top to a dress. And I added a piece of fabric here because I wasn't built like the dress was. And this will get attached to this. So when you attach things, you put your right sides together. Pardon me for flipping fabric around everywhere here. And you line up your front of your skirt, which would be right there, with the front of your top, which is right there. And watch this. This will be so cool. What I'm going to do is stitch the two together. So you want to line up your seams when you're making things to a 5/8 inch seam is always the standard.